We've all had moments that break us down, searching for light when the world spins round. But in those cracks, the purpose is born, a new way to live when the old is torn. It's more than a story, it's the rise from the fall, a place where your purpose starts to call. With Dr. Stephenson, wisdom takes flight, turning your pain into hope, into light. Collide with purpose, embrace the change. Every story's got a fire in its flame. Tune in, listen, find your way to take life's hardest hits and turn the page. In the podcast, the truth is found. Collide with purpose, let love abound. From heartbreak to strength, the lessons unfold. It's about how we rise, not the stories we've told. Guests with their journeys, sharing their light. In every collision, there's power in sight. It's more than a talk, it's the wisdom we gain through every struggle, through every pain. With conversations that open the door to purpose, to power, to so much more. Collide with purpose, embrace the change. Every story's got a fire in its flame. Tune in, listen, find your way to take life's hardest hits and turn the page. In the podcast, the truth is found. Collide with purpose, let love abound. So come as you are, with your scars and fears. This is the place where the truth appears. Turn your trials into stepping stones. Find the strength to claim your throne. Collide with purpose, embrace the change. Every story's got a fire in its flame. Tune in, listen, find your way to take life's hardest hits and turn the page. In the podcast, the truth is found. Collide with purpose, let love abound. A collision with purpose, your journey starts here. In every conversation, we'll wipe away fear. Find your purpose, let your life ignite. With Dr. Stephenson, you'll find your light.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you're joining us from today. Welcome. Welcome to Life Change and Conversations to Inspire Actions, where conversations are designed to inspire reflection, growth, and meaningful action. Today, we're exploring a powerful and timely topic, the role of the diaspora in shaping the future of Jamaica. Across the globe, Jamaicans are making meaningful contributions in business, healthcare, leadership, sports, and community development. But what makes this truly powerful is not just where we are, it is how we stay connected, how we contribute, and how we use our influence to uplift others. Because when connection is paired with intention, it creates impact. And when impact is sustained, it transforms communities. Today's conversation is about responsibility, opportunity, and the role each of us can play in building something greater than ourselves. Our guest today is Dr. Binzie Davidson, Global Jamaica Diaspora Council representative for the West and Midwest United States. He's an accomplished entrepreneur, president of Uni Healthcare Systems, Inc., founder, director, and vice president of operations for Global Humanity Network, Incorporated, and president of the Caribbean Cricket Club of Los Angeles. His work spans healthcare innovation, global humanitarian efforts, and community leadership, all anchored in a deep commitment to service and development. Dr. Davidson, welcome to life-changing conversations to inspire actions.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your support.
How are you doing, Doc?
I am blessed and highly favored.
Yeah, you're looking sharp there, man. Looking real sharp.
Yes, sir.
You seem like you're coming from a huge occasion. Well, what's going on? What's going on with you?
Well, I'm keeping it together, keeping busy, and serving as usual.
Yeah, service is your life, and I know that personally. I've known you for a long time, and we've done work together all over the globe. So I know service is what you're all about. So, but Doc, today we're going to have a very spirited conversation about service, about commitment. And we're talking commitment to Jamaica, because of course you are a Jamaican and so am I. And that is very important to us. But Dr. Davidson, before leadership is recognized globally, it is shaped locally in the environments that build resilience, discipline, and vision. Before the titles, before the degrees, before the global influence, who are you? Who is Dr. Davis at the core? And I want you to take us back to Little London, Westmoreland. What did that environment build in you?
Excellent. Well, as we speak about Jamaica and the fact that I am a global empire, when we speak about Jamaican, we're speaking about Jamaican everywhere in the world. And we are on every continent. And we're everywhere, right? So let's get back to the roots, right from Little London to Prod, Westmoreland. So basically, as a teenager, I was very, very involved with my church. And I think I got that upbringing and development and mindset and attitude from building from my church, knowing that there's a natural, supernatural being watching over us at all times, and that we should know right from wrong in terms of guidance. And so the Bible was my first book that I read coming out of Little London. But one of the areas that I had to work on is the fact that I was not given a silver spoon.
Mm-hmm.
I had to work my way up for any achievement that I've gotten up to date. And I would say that I came from very humble beginnings, but parents that have pride and dignity. As I told everyone, that where I got my business acumen from is from my parents, because we have been involved in shopkeeping for over 100 years. So I've known business growing up as a kid, right from my home. And so we work together with our shop to learn about business and how to relate to people. Then at an early age, we were involved in school in terms of community development activities. And one of the areas that we started out with was the fact that I'm one of the founders of the Star of the West Youth Club. We, as a team, gave it the name. We built a board around it, and we started with sports. So within the Star of the West environment, we kept busy in the community, where we built our cricket and soccer teams and worked together in the community to compete against each other in a healthy way. And so as we grow and build together within the community, you can imagine after 69 years, the community is still doing, the Star of the West Youth Club is still there, with a group of guys working together and so on. So I would say that from my upbringing, my community was part of my whole development. Everyone rallied around me and supported me. They didn't undermine my work. So that motivated me to work hard and to achieve whatever I've gotten today. And so my life promise is to give back to the communities that really helped me. and without any fanfare or any accolades, but to work privately to help humanity. And I moved to the United States 40 years ago. I'm celebrating 40 years here. And we follow the same trend in terms of working together for humanity, to help everyone.
Awesome, awesome. And if you don't mind, just for someone who might be watching this show, they won't know where Little London is. Can you just tell us where it is?
Right. Well, Little London is only approximately about, say, 6 miles from Negril. And so we're right in the center between Savlamar and Negril. And so most of our work and employment is centered around Negril.
Tourism, right?
Where, as you know, Negril is a tourist resort. And so people seek employment in the Negril area. But right there, Little London is really a farming community. We have shops and so on, but one of the major claim to fame is the sugar industry in Little London. And so most of us were involved in farming and getting involved in planting sugarcane to basically serve the world market.
So Little London is Little London is where it all started for you. Top Road.
Yes, and Little London got its name from Big London, England, you know.
Yeah, we understand that for sure. That's where it came from. Top Road, to be exact, is where it started for you. And we attended school, Little London Primary, and the junior secondary school, which became a high school. But Doc, you've achieved, you've done well in life, but it didn't just happen. Something happened. Where you are today is not where it started. You had to overcome some things internally and externally. So what externally and internally you had to overcome to get to where you are today and to become a global leader?
Well, the mind is important. I think it's a mindset. And then when you look around the community, you as an individual have to make choices. And so you have to dig deep in terms of your belief system. And you have to have a plan and you work at it. So one of the areas that, although when I was a kid, I was traveling around with my grandfather because, as you know, the Davidson are the biggest landowners in Little London. And so I was always hanging around my grandfather, learning about the farming because they had sugarcane and other cash crops. And then we own horses, cows and mules and donkeys. So I was always hanging up. My dad left at an early age when I was 6 years old to England. So my grandfather took control of my well-being, William Davidson. And so I spent a lot of time with him, watching him build an empire in terms of his farming community. And I stayed with him. So I love that farming so much that what transpired out of that, which I don't think it was very, very good for me because I wanted to be riding the muley cart every day and working on the farm. And I refused to go to school. So at an early age, most times when I missed school, it was me with my grandfather working on the farm. And I didn't have to do it. But I love this aspect of the business so much that I think that was very important to me, not realizing that I was missing some very important part of my educational development. Mm-hmm. So then when I got up to grade 6, I really was not able to do the common entrance examination because, the individuals were pre-selected to do the entrance, right? And you have to be prepared. I wasn't fully prepared. to the entrance, so they didn't put my name up. So I never did come on entrance, as I told everyone. So what I did was,
Doc, interestingly, you were prepared because what you experienced on the farm was also a form of preparation for life. And
yes, that was life. That was life changing in terms of me being part of the farm. But the new concept now is homeschooling, right? So that was part of homeschooling, but then I wasn't given the other skill sets, which is the maths and the English and the traditional sort of training at that time. I was just moving around and doing the farm stuff. So when I got to grade 7 now, there was a teacher at the back of the class, and his name is Davidson. And Desmond Davidson, by the way. And I told him before he passed away, I was working in Kingston. And he came up and said, you know, I'm a Davidson, you're a Davidson. And Davidsons are very brilliant people. So that clicked something in my mind. You know, if we're brilliant, I need to be brilliant too, right? So while we were there talking, I said, I'm going to have to do something about it. So first, and then I had my teacher, Miss Gurley Lawrence, and she was always keeping an eye on me in terms of my work and so on. So I must give her credit as well. Guess what? The first year, I came first in the class, grade 7. So in my mind, I said, man, I have the innate talent and ability here. Why not continue to develop it? So I started to spend time reading and developing my skill sets. Then right after that, we had a brand spanking new school at Little London, and they called it Little London Junior Secondary School. I think the name was incorrect. They should have said Little London High School right from the jump start. So we all moved forward and helped to develop the school, but that wasn't the case. It was a junior secondary. So some of us left. Like you, Prof, you left and went off to New York, right? So I was left with Dr. Delroy Frey as one of my friends. But he was in the lower grade because of the fact that he was born after December and I was born before December. So then I was one class above him. And so I started to develop my skill sets, did the over-age examination to St. Elizabeth High School. And I think I passed that entrance examination that year, but at that time they had a major fire in Kingston. No result came out. So I wasn't able to access the ability to go after stats. So I stayed back at Little London. But one other thing at Little London is me coming first at grade 7. Guess where they placed me? 8-3. Nowadays it's 8C. So I took myself out of 8C and I put myself in 8-1. And the principal removed me and put me back in the grade 8C. And I said, no, I'm not supposed to be placed here. So I move up and I go to 8-2. And she still removed me and placed me back in 8C. So I'm saying, what's going on here? Okay, I'm going to have to prove to you again that I should have been in the A stream, right? So I got first in the class. And at that same year, I passed 5 Jamaica school certificate examinations. And then when I move up to the 9th grade now, instead of going to 9A again, they placed me in 9B. So at all times, I'm moving along the system at Little London, but I was at a disadvantage because I did not get to go to the A stream to challenge and to move forward faster in my mind. So guess what? I stayed in B and I got another 5 Jamaica school certificate examination. So now I'm, and part 3 of them was in agricultural science. So now I end up with 10 Jamaica school certificate examination and getting prepared for college in my mind. So from that level now, I passed the grade 9 achievement test in Nakalva. I said, great, I'm going to go to agricultural school. When I got to Nakalva, they said the school was full. and they couldn't take me. So I went to Mannings and spoke with my friend and cousin, Eldon Muller, and said, look, man, you are the late pastor at my church. You come here and you preach sometimes at Little London. I need your help. I need to be transferred to Mannings where I can develop and hone in my skill sets. And he said he would try. Guess what? He tried, but at the end of the day, I had to go back to Little London. So I was the first batch at Little London when the school was changed to high school to do O levels. So I got enrolled with my O levels at that time at Little London. And then I said, you know what? I need some more additional help. So I went to Mannings and enrolled in the extension class. And between the extension class and Little London High School O-level program, I gained 5 O-levels. So I was keeping up with the Joneses in terms of age. So by age 17, I got my 5 O-levels and ended up with about 12 Jamaica School Certificate examination and applied straight to Church Teachers College, Jamaica School of Agriculture, and University of the West Indies for the nursing program. And I got accepted into Teachers College, so I went off to Church Teachers College at age 17.
You know,
while my other friends were in sixth form. The rest is history.
Listen to
I
you.
graduated from the school, from Church Teachers College at age 20. And guess where I went back? Right after I graduated as a fully trained teacher. Straight to Little London High School for 2 months. Then recruited at Mannings and spent 10 years there.
Yeah, so listen to you talk, Dr.
So I double up in terms of catching up.
Yeah, listen to you talk. It's obvious that early in your educational pursuit, you've had challenges. You've had people within the system try to place you where they believe you should be. However, your resilience and your dedication and commitment to grow stands out clearly. So somewhere along your educational pursuit, success begins to take on a deeper meaning. When did your path shift from personal achievement, or all that you did in school was personal achievement, to a life of service and responsibility?
Well, when I went to teach at Little London, I started the first past student association group at Little London High School with Cecil Wright and Michael Pattison. So the 3 of us got together and we said, look, we're going to start a past student association right here because we need to access the resources of the past students to help the school. And we had a lot of events and fundraising activities and work at the school. So the 3 of us were basically co-founders of the movement to begin Little London High School work as service. And then right during that period of time now, we wanted to work with the community. So that's where Staff the West Youth Club came in, where Clarence Pringle was just coming out of St. Elizabeth Technical High School, and he was in the community as an activist. I was an activist as well. So we got together with Clarence Pringle and with a young man, we call him Bishop, Mr. Gooden. So we all got together and said, we need a youth club here. So we formed the Star of the West Youth Club as a cricket and soccer club to represent the region. And we compete against all the different teams. And the idea was to try to develop young sportsmen coming out of Little London. And so that's where the whole community service activities came in. And then right after 2 months now, I was recruited to teach at Mannings and to become the national coach, referee, umpire, the whole work. So I took it to all the different levels. So while I was working at Mannings now, I wanted to develop and work with sportsmen within the Western region, quite specifically Westmoreland, to bring these top athletes to Mannings so we can build a team of sportsmen to represent the country, right? Guess what? I was blocked again. I was told that we have to develop our own sportsmen at the school. And these kids coming into Mannings, they were in the top 5%. They were bright kids. They're not interested in no sports. And they're the guys in the region that I wanted to bring to Mannings. I started out with Paul Palmer Jr. and Cleveland Davidson, and I brought them to Mannings to practice in front of the principal. And I said, look, I need to develop a solid cricket team for Westmoreland right here at Mannings. And you know what? Again, I was denied the privilege of developing these young minds of cricketers who were talented coming out of the different various sectors. So guess what? I didn't stop there. My batchmate, Eldemai Simit, was a PE teacher at Stets. And then Neil Mucha was working with me at Little London. And I said, Neil, Eldemai is your batchmate. Let's team up and send these guys to St. Elizabeth Technical High School. Guess what? St. Elizabeth Technical High School to Paul Palmer Jr., the two Paul Palmer brothers, and Dixet Palmer, and the whole work. And also now a couple of my Woolcock, my cousins, most of them, there was a wide open opportunity for cricketers coming out of Little London to go to St. Elizabeth Technical High School. These guys won every single cup that you could imagine in Westmoreland, in Jamaica, and rose to the top to play for the parish and for Jamaica. So although we didn't get the opportunity at Mannings for those guys to attend the school, we gave them opportunity to go to other schools. Then not only cricket, soccer, we look at the whole entire parish. And track and field, we had the opportunity to get all these top athletes in the region. We didn't get them there. All moved to other schools in the country. But guess what? My first year at Mannings, even with the limited resources we had, I won Western Championship. With all the schools in the Western Jamaica competing at St. Elizabeth Technical High School, I brought 90 athletes and we won the Western Championship, both males and females. And went to Kingston to compete at the National Stadium. And at that time, my female team got fourth in the National Championship, and my boys' team got ninth. So with the lack of opportunities, we were able to develop our sportsmen right within the school without having to migrate other athletes to come to the school, and we still did extremely well. But as you were saying, in terms of other success, while I was teaching at Mannings, I saw a young kid in my class by the name of Gary Banhan. Very exceptional kid he was there, and I know he needed some support, so I stopped by his dad home in Little London and said, Mr. Banhan, you have an exceptional kid here, he needs some support. Can I come by and volunteer to help him out? And you know, for 6 months, I stopped by once or twice a week and helped guide his education. And all of a sudden, now, Mr. Banhan had 4 kids. And I was trying to guide all of them in terms of their educational development. And then he said, man, you know, Binzie, I have a lot of resources here. I can employ you to manage my kids' affair in terms of their education. And he employed me part-time to do the whole operation, to work closely with them. And then also I was his in-house accountant. So I had 3 jobs while I was working at Mannings. So much so that when I got paid, all the money that I worked at Mannings went for savings because of an exceptional part-time job. Right
Awesome.
after that, Mr. Banhan died. So now I had to take on the role of a father figure with the kids, and also to work in the Banhan enterprise. We owned 18 trucks at that time, and we built it into a multi-million-dollar business. That's where I gained my little knowledge of business from at that time. So I must commend the family for giving me that opportunity to basically develop my skills. The kids are all grown and they're doing exceptionally well. And also, I had to move on. So my high school sweetheart at the time was in the state of California in 1986. So I moved to California 1986 to join her and to continue with my education. And I got in and got my second bachelor's degree, my master's, and my doctorate. But while at Manning's, you know, I got a Jamaican scholarship to Australia to do physical education, health, and combine it with sports medicine by the Jamaican government. So with the government and the free education and the training, I said, no, my responsibility is to give back. So wherever I am in the world, I'm prepared to give back to Jamaica.
Right.
Not only in Jamaica, but Jamaicans in the diaspora. Okay, you know that worldwide, the statistic is that there are about 3 million of us worldwide. And so it's more than that if you go into first, second, and third generation. But we have more of us living in the diaspora.
And before we get to the diaspora piece, let's before we get there, we're going to get to the diaspora piece. Let's talk about, you've shown what you've done in the parish, in the schools, and with local businesses. You've shown your leadership there. Now, the question for you is, why is giving back to Jamaica still important to you at this level of influence? Why is it so important?
Well, one thing the term I use is, to whom much is given, much is expected. It's like my church. You know, you help the church to grow financially by giving your donation, right? So it's an innate ability, something in me to say, look, you know, be grateful, be appreciative. Somebody, your country, the individuals help you along the way, because in life, as you grow, you cannot grow on your own. You have influence, you have people around you. So basically, it's an opportunity to say, you know, we are built by our community wherever we are. And as a result, we need to give back. So that give back mentality is always on my mind. And so, you know, we do a lot of multiple tasks to achieve our objectives. And while we're doing that, in my mind, it's not all about us or me, but it's about others. What can you do to uplift others while you grow? So we all grow together as one, and that we build a system from the bottom up and at the top. Okay. And so my belief system is to help at all times, and it's not about the accolade or what it is that you can get out of it. You have to do it from your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're looking at trying to get something out of it, you're not going to be happy. You want to be very happy in terms of what it is that you're doing. And that's why people ask me, how come you do all these things? You know, basically, you do it because of the love and the dedication to help humanity.
Yeah, so leadership, Dr. Davidson, at a national and global level comes with both opportunity and responsibility. You was recently elected as Global Jamaica Diaspora Council representative for your region. And we're going to talk about that. What responsibility do you carry that may not always be visible to others as the representative?
Right, because although it's a voluntary job, I take this job serious. And so when I look at the whole diaspora, and especially the whole global diaspora, we as a people, as Jamaicans, we need to organize ourselves. We're a little disorganized. And so I take this responsibility very serious at my age, in that I stepped up to the plate to make a difference. And so yes, a lot of people were not doing it. When I placed my name on to run in October, November, December, I was the only person.
Mm.
Then January, somebody stepped in to run. So basically, there was nobody, and there was no representation at that for this year. And I said, no, we're not going to have the Midwest, which encompasses 25 contiguous states and have the richest states in the union. Just the state of California is the richest state in America. Richest economy. If you look at the state of California, just one state alone, the richest place in the world is the United States of America, right? The fourth richest place based on economy and gross revenue is the state of California. And we have no representation at this time for this year. We had it before, people represented the region, but no, we didn't have anyone now for this year. So I said, no, there's no way I'm going to leave all this dollar on the table and my people within the region not to be represented. So at my elder age, I've done the work already. You know, I worked in various organizations. Remember now, I have been working with the National Association of Jamaican and Supportive Organizations for 30 years. And we were the one that presented the whole idea of the diaspora movement to the Jamaican government, and recommended that they have a minister of state in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for diaspora affairs to focus on the resources in the diaspora to help the country. And I've never missed a diaspora conference. I'm looking at all this and I said, no, man, we need true representation within the region at this time. And so I stepped up to be the representative, and I take it very serious. I will not be working with the state of California only. I'll be working with the 25 states in the region and identifying leadership within the regions to work with me. So somebody can say, okay, so are you doing this all by yourself? No. The first person I reached out to when I won the election was a person that ran against me. Mm. She's a young upcoming star. And I said to her, you know, and that she's Miss Porter. I said, Miss Porter, I would like to work with you as my co-chair to really build and grow the region. And not only being my co-chair, but I'd like you to work with me to be the representative, the lead under me for Illinois, where you're from. And she was very happy. She said, yes, I'll do it. So now we have a leader in Illinois that will be working with me, right? The same person we run against. And so we're trying to produce successive leadership here. Then I came back to LA and I said, who is a young professional that is in charge of the Global Jamaican Diaspora Youth Council? And Solange Sinclair is that one. She was elected. So I said, Solange, let's work together as well. Let's team up. I'm trying to select as lead representative from the 25 states. I would like you to do the same thing. You have your team of young professionals, because we're getting in age and you guys are the ones going to take over from us. So she's doing the same thing and she's exceptional. So now, right after that, I started to look at the various states. And then I came right back to California. And I said, which personnel within the state of California that's a lead person that is involved in organizational development that I can utilize? And guess who comes to mind? Mr. Patrick Williams. He is a leader within the state of California, and he's also the NAJASO representative for the West Midwest. So I selected him as the lead for the state of California, not knowing that his time as president of Jamaica Award Association is completed this year. And so somebody else is taking on the lead for the president of JAC. So he's the right guy for the job as lead for the state of California. That's two. right there. We're gone two at this time. So and then I moved to Michigan, and I have a young lady in Michigan that I'm working with to be the lead for the state of Michigan. So up to this point I have about 12. I want to go into the details of that, but the idea is, but by the time the end of March comes, I'll have 25 leads to work with. So I'm not doing this by myself. And the term is a 3-year term, right? So I have to help to put a system in place within my region to last. But not only that, today we had the training in terms of information from the minister in terms of the work that we're supposed to do as volunteers, and not as representative for the government. We are representative for the diaspora, and we are in an advisory role. So one of the areas that I'm looking at is now, how can I work with the southern region of the U.S. leadership, the eastern region of the U.S. leadership? So right within my region of the United States of America, we have to come together, and we have to be in one voice, because if we're not together, we're not going to achieve a lot.
Absolutely.
So the idea is to work together, and then we form what is known as, I'm forming what is known as an advisory group to look at what it is that we have and how can we help to modernize it. And as the Minister of State said today to us, guess what? There are various diaspora organizations across the world, which is different from the council. We're not the end point. There are other groups that are doing significant work for the country. But this is just one of the many groups. And the idea is for us to come together as a people to help. And guess what? When we're talking about help, we're not looking at helping Jamaicans in Jamaica only. Our focus is to help Jamaicans wherever they are in the world. That's our population in the diaspora.
That's a solid point. As you make that point, let's talk about key priorities you believe must be addressed within the West, Midwest region. Let's focus there for a second and talk about key priorities. What are some of the key priorities that you believe must be addressed within the West, Midwest region?
One is involvement and unification. We have to work as one body within our region first and be a model. And in order for, the key priority for me is to have representation, right? Because when we have representation within the region and to cover the 25 states, and when I say representation, it doesn't mean only Jamaicans. It means Jamaicans and supportive groups. There are a lot of people doing some significant work for Jamaica that are not Jamaicans. And so if I go into North Dakota or South Dakota and I see somebody who is making a difference for the country, I'm going to select that person. So yes, the first priority is basically putting a proper team together, because you can't do it all. And then from you form the team and working together, now one of the areas that I'm looking for is economic opportunities and development for our people within the region and outside the region to help our country. And the build up, we're on a quick, fast mission because we were just selected March 1st. And guess what? We have a diaspora conference coming up June 14th to 18th. And my goal is we need to bring at least 100 people to conference from my region. And the ones that I'm selecting are not just anybody. They're going to be business leaders. They're going to be presidents of various organizations within the region, because they have a story to tell. They represent groups, right? And so I'm looking at, say, for example, the Jamaica Women's Association of California right now. They have approximately 3,000 supporters within their group. And they have a membership, say, about approximately 70 or more, right? But the supporters are equally important. So now, and then we have our big events here in LA. So if you don't do a train the train, a program where you bring your leadership in that's running these groups into the country to learn from what is happening in terms of conference, and they can bring it back to their people. Most of the information that is shared at conference, if you just have friends and relatives, just show up and have a good time. Who is going to come back to present all those wonderful ideas that are presented at conference to the people? So representation is of paramount importance, because you want these leaders to come back in to share what it is that is being discussed at conference. And then a lot of things is going to be discussed. You're talking about what we do. We get a progress report from both the leader of the opposition and the prime minister. And also we have the government at your service coming in with their boots and everything, talking about governmental services and how to access resources to help the country. You know, so those are priorities that we can't leave money on the table, and we have to bring in leadership to understand what is happening in the country and how to help the country. So yes, my priority is for economic development and growth of our people here and in Jamaica. But a big thing here is, and I know you're big on that part, is mindset. Because the mind is a terrible thing to waste, you know. And you know, our people are very smart. And I mean it from the bottom of my heart, because we have been traveling to this region for over 300 years. We just came by overnight because we got gained independence 60 years ago. I wrote a book on that, Not Just Our Catalyst for Change. And in the book, Carol Moshet Kirk, who is the author, God bless her soul, she gone and she left the book in my possession. It states very clearly that every single significant change that was made in America, Jamaican Americans have a part to play in it. So all the achievements that were made in America, we're part of that system that made it, that helped to make the change. So if we can help to make the change in the greatest country on earth, can't we make the same change in Jamaica? So that is a question for that's always there in my mind. And then how can a small little island with a 2.5 million people achieve so much already? You know, I'm a sportsman by heart, right? Look at sports. We have the fastest man alive in the island. We have the fastest woman alive in the island. And we have developed a powerhouse in track and field in the world. We're an envy to the world. And I'm proud of it, because guess what? Now I can proud to say that I was a physical education and health education teacher and national coach in the island. And we can see the progress. Back then, you know, they believed that sports was nothing. Well, when they talk about sports, look at the great Usain Bolt. And he's just not, and then in America right now, do you know that there are over 500 Jamaican athletes at universities, various universities in the States, in training and contributing to the development of sports in the US? They might not be on the Jamaica national team because you can't have so many, because we are so competitive. But guess what? They are in the NCAA championships, helping their school to compete in the USFA. And not only that too, you know, you have Jamaicans in Canada that basically represent Canada in track and field. You have Jamaicans in the United Kingdom representing the United Kingdom. I know I heard that Turkey and Italy and all those places are trying to recruit some of our athletes. So we are providing athletes for the world market. And you're talking about just sports, right? Don't even mention cricket and soccer. That's the sports section of it. What about the cultural side of it? What about the reggae music? and you're a musician, so you can tell me a lot about the music and the whole development of music worldwide, the great Bob Marley and all the icons coming after them and the younger stars. So we have done so much as a nation that we should be proud of ourselves, right?
Yeah, but let's look forward. Let's look ahead. And specific to your leadership role as the representative for the West Midwest region. So that is really and truly the focus here. What outcomes would you hope to see because of your leadership in the West, Midwest, and in the diaspora in general?
Well, Melissa taught us a lesson that basically it's time for us to come together to help our beloved country. So the whole big outcome is basically two major things: to achieve true independence, through economic growth and development, and to pull resources from my leadership within the country, and to provide that level of leadership and support so that we can become the true nation and independent nation that we strive to become, and to look at the government 2030 mission and see within that mission, how can we basically help to be truly an independent nation by bringing economic development to the country, to help the country, and to harness the resources wherever we are in the world to help. So one of the big areas is really economic development and create economic impact. And so that is general, right? But I'd like to have a look at one little community of Little London, where I'm from. How can we help to transform that one community as a model community for the country within the next 3 years of my leadership? So I'll be looking at one community at a time, and to put some resources into that one community and to be a model. And also look, one of the areas that we looked at over the years is basically technology, right? And we wanted the schools to be independent with technology in terms of computer technology learning programs in all the schools in the island. So I think I will revisit that idea and to bring in technology into the basic and elementary schools to upgrade them as well. And then now, if you look at health, from my region, there are over 365 medical missions that went into the island over 2 years ago. How can we unify those medical missions and disperse them amongst the 14 parishes? Might have a 15 parish soon. How can we capitalize on the resources of the diaspora in the medical health area to help? And yes, we have a lead. Dr. Gary Rule is a lead, and he ran a big empire in Connecticut, and he's the health sector lead. So I'll be working closely with him to see how we can move our resources to help transform the health sector and the education sector in the island. And then, but again, these are general terms. And as I place my team together and our professional advisory group together, we'll hone in on very specific things in terms of what it is that we need to do to help. So in my mindset, mine is about general right now until I get my team together to hone in on specifics, so that by the end of the term, we'll be able to document and to achieve very specific objectives.
All right. So you talk about multiple groups in California alone, but throughout the entire diaspora doing work in Jamaica. And that's a wonderful thing. But my question to you, Dr. Davis, is what systems or framework could help unify diaspora efforts more effectively? Because we have many groups, and you talk about that, but are we unified?
Well, I believe that the Global Jamaican Diaspora Council group of 30 that represent the entire world is the most unified group in the entire world, and that we have 100 support from our government, because they were kind enough to appoint a minister of state in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs as the one of the chief architect behind the movement, along with right now we're looking for a chief co-chair from the diaspora, and they've asked us to look it within our team to identify that that co-chair who will represent the diaspora. And so we are working on that. So I think quite specifically, the Global Jamaican Diaspora Council is the way to go at this time, because apart from just the 30-member board, we have sectors. We have various sectors lead, and these guys who are the sector leads are the best in the business. I can vouch for Dr. Gary Rule, right? He's running a multi-million-dollar corporate business in Connecticut. The budget is bigger than Jamaica, and he's leading the sector. He's brilliant. And I think we don't need to form another health group, because he is a lead that can really, really make a significant impact on the health sector. And then we have an education lead. Then we have a security lead already coming out of the diaspora group that is formed, right? I think though that's the way to go at this present time. But if we want to fine-tune and work closely with the various groups within each region, such as I think the lead group in the United States right now is the umbrella group for all Jamaican groups in the United States of America, is NAJASO, the National Association of Jamaican and Supportive Organization. So I'm calling on all Jamaicans in United States to rally behind NAJASO and provide that level of membership and support to grow that out as a non-profit corporation in the United States of America. Then now you go to Canada. There's a Canadian group, Jamaican Association of Canada. I think the Canadians should build out that group as a major group within Canada. Then you go to the United Kingdom, and they have a non-profit group there, the United Kingdom Association. I think they should build out that group as a local group representing that area. And if you build out all those three major groups, along with the other groups that are representing the Caribbean, you have a lead that represents the entire Caribbean, that you can bring the Caribbean Jamaicans together. Then there's African Jamaican Association. We can bring the African Jamaican Association together. And then you have the Australian and all the ones in the Eastern Bloc. If you have those groups within their own sector, developing their system and helping, and then we all put it together, what a wonderful world it will become. So we have the different groups that can basically play a significant role in their region. And back in the US, I think NAJASO is the lead. And I'm calling on NAJASO leadership. I'm on the board to step up to the plate.
And it begins with the leadership, right?
And begin to lead. And if you are within a leadership capacity and you're not leading, you need to step down and give somebody else the opportunity to lead, because we're leaving millions of dollars on the table and our people need the help. So if you don't want to go across the border and you want to focus in on the US, I think NAJASO is the way to go. I've been on the board for 30 years. I was a president. We wrote a book, NAJASO, Catalyst for Change. We have a blueprint. And I think we should develop that group as the lead group in the United States of America to help Jamaicans in America and Jamaicans in Jamaica.
Right. So you have some work to do there, right? NAJASO leaders,
Yes.
you need to step up to the plate and do the work you're called to do. Or
there you go.
Or get on.
Luckily, I am on the board of NAJASO, and the board gonna be meeting soon next week. And my mantra is gonna be, look, guys, step up to the plate.
All right.
because we are leaving. We we don't want to leave anyone behind, and our people need us right now, especially with the aftermath of Melissa.
Well,
Melissa
Doc,
taught us a lesson, but guess what?
we're at the hour mark, Doc, so we got to move on. So we at the hour mark. Sustainable leadership is defined by what continues beyond the individual. Dr. Davidson, personal question here to you. How can your leadership contribute to building systems that create lasting impact?
It's gonna take some planning, and you have to put all the professionals in place to come up with a concrete planning that makes a difference.
Okay.
And one of the big area is the unification of our people. Okay, if we're not unified and we're not working together, if we're divided, we're gonna fall. And fall is not an answer.
It's not an option, huh?
It's not an option for me.
All right. So this segment here before we close is what I call the quick fire segment. So one word answer. So it's a moment for quick reflections, right? So influence or execution, which is more critical right now?
We have to execute immediately. Execution is the key.
Unity or strategy, which needs more attention?
We have to have a real strategic plan to bring in the unity. So strategy is mine.
Passion or discipline, which should be strengthened?
The discipline. You can have a passion for everything, but if you don't work and you're not disciplined, it's not going to work. So we have to be disciplined.
This one word that defines the responsibility of your role as the representative for West Midwest.
Leadership.
All right. Awesome. So this brings this conversation to a meaningful close. Dr. Davidson, for those in the diaspora who want to contribute but are unsure where to begin, what is one practical step they can take today?
Join the movement. Get involved and put your money where your mouth is. And so I'll be building a website to focus on diaspora affairs within my region and to involve each and every one, all the leaders within the group. So I'm currently working on the website so that you can make your contribution.
And contribution can be in what form?
It can be volunteering your time to be of service, or make a donation towards a project that you love and will execute.
Do you have any projects in mind, any initiatives in mind?
Yes, there's a major initiative that we're working on right now. Is basically one of the big areas is we have adopted Little London as a community. Little London High School is sitting right there and need a lot of help in terms of infrastructural development, and also the Little London Primary and the community of Little London. Reach out to your brothers and sisters. Give us a level of support. There's a health center right there that needs a lot of upgrade for the community. So one of my major focus within the next 3 years is to transform the community of Little London. And I was told that there is going to be an airport built in my community, the Negril International Airport. I'll be an advocate for that because that's going to be the game changer to transform the entire community so that we can all work together.
So Little London is where it all started, and you're going back home.
Yes.
Transform Little London to do the work there.
The model community for Jamaica. We want it to be a model community for Little London, for Jamaica.
As someone who's from Little London, I look forward to that day, and I will support that. All right, Doc. So let me say thank you for your leadership, your insight, and your continued commitment to service. Today's conversation reminds us that connection is powerful. But what we choose to do with that connection is what truly creates impact. Each of us has something to offer, our knowledge, our experience, our time, and our voice. And when we use those gifts intentionally, we become part of something greater than ourselves. As we reflect, I leave you with three questions. How am I using what I have to make a meaningful difference? Who is being positively impacted by my actions? What more can I do to contribute to the growth of my community and country? And we're talking about Jamaica here. Why? Because service is not about doing everything. It's about doing something with purpose and consistency. This has been life-changing conversations to inspire actions. My guest today was Dr. Binzie Davidson, Global Jamaican Diaspora Council Representative for West Midwest USA. Dr. Davidson, I give you the last word.
Thank you, Dr. Laxley Stephenson, for your support as we move Jamaicans in the diaspora and Jamaicans on the homeland forward. Thank you for your support as always. And we're here to basically help humanity in all the possible ways we can to move our people forward. And with a positive mindset, we will achieve our objectives. Thank you, sir. Appreciate everything.
Thank you, and see you next Wednesday. Same time, same place, on Life-Changing Conversation to Inspire Actions. We're out.
Thank you.
We've all had moments that break us down, searching for light when the world spins round. But in those cracks,